Hey, good morning. Well, I decided to come up with a video this morning. I don't know what it is. I think I'm going to start a new series called something about morning wake up thoughts. I don't know what you guys think about dreams, but I seem to wake up every morning with a feeling like I want to write, or like several thoughts in my mind, just because overnight my brain was working on it. And so some of these things are going to end up being rants. Some of these things are going to just end up being, just kind of my thoughts. And you may or may not be interested in them, and that doesn't matter really. At least I'm getting them out on paper without actually using my pen. And it makes it easier, quite frankly, because then I can get it out and I don't have to necessarily, I can just let it go. There's a few things that came to my mind this morning. I've been watching a lot of personal finance videos, and it's not like necessarily to match me up with any of them. Like I've watched plenty of different YouTube channels, the Money Guys, Josh Scanlon, he's one of my favorites. He's from Heritage Wealth Planning. Also, Dave Ramsay. I watch Dave Ramsay more for, I don't know, I don't know why I watch Dave Ramsay. I don't know why I watch Dave Ramsay. I don't know, maybe it's like a morbid curiosity, I guess. I mean, the real difference between watching somebody like Dave and watching somebody like Josh Scanlon is that Dave really talks to the people who don't really have their shit together, quite frankly. Many of them early in their lives, many of them living in, different types of zip codes, with no retirement at all. Not really a pot to piss in, quite frankly. Making bad money mistakes. Making $29,000 a year and somehow getting a loan for a $26,000 car. So I guess it is a little bit morbid curiosity. And I thought about Dave and his popularity, and how he literally, I read some of his book, Total Money Makeover, or one of those books. I picked it up just because I was curious. But it turns out that you don't really need to pick up Dave's books. All you have to do is watch his YouTube videos, and basically you're getting the content of the books. The 7 baby steps, etc. And I thought about it, and it's like, I'm age 50. I mean, you probably can tell that by the fact that I wake up in the morning looking like this. And I almost wish I had somebody like Dave back then, to listen to, because I made a lot of mistakes. I suppose the good news for me is that every mistake that I made, I could overcome because I just kept working. I kept playing the game. I tried to increase my salary on a yearly basis until I basically reached a level that I've been sitting in for years now. And that's mostly my fault. But beyond that, let's take that out of the mix for now. I was able to overcome those mistakes because I just kept working hard. And I did it every year and continue to do it every year because a lot of people rely on me. And I don't need Dave to tell me, I need to save this amount, or I need to put away $1,000 or whatever it is. I don't need Dave to tell me that. I've worked it all out. But the great thing about Dave is that he catches people really early in their lives to begin to look at their world in a different way. And we don't teach personal finance in high school and college. something I'm very, very concerned about. I mean, I sit down with my kids and show them what I do and so on, but you can tell, I mean, the eyes glaze over, you know. And I started to think about Dave because there's a religious aspect to what he does. And that usually, back in the day, what that would do is that would automatically disqualify him from somebody I would talk about or talk to or think about. But I think with the wisdom of age, I think I get it now. I mean, what is religion actually? I mean, really what it is not the way it's perceived by a younger generation is it's a method of control, to control the population with rules and so on and ceremony. But really, when it comes to when it's this perspective, it's more about the teaching aspect of it. It's more about, you know, I mean, Dave's 7 baby steps are like 7 commandments. It's like something to follow, something to have faith in that will drive good behaviors. So I get it. Like, I used to think it's some, you know, whacked out kind of cultish thing and so on, but it's not. It's not. It's just, it's a method by which if you follow these steps, this is the road that you will take to the promised land. And there's power in that. There really, truly is some power in that. I mean, I'd love it if we didn't, you know, have to bring religion into it, but it does work from that standpoint. Now, for me, it doesn't work, you know, because I'm well beyond that. You know, I've got my own problems, but the fact of the matter is that I could probably stop today if I wanted to. Maybe. It would take a lot of extra work, and it would blow everything. I mean, if I knew I was living to 65 or 70 and that's all I had, I'd stop now. But the point is like that took years and years of compounding to get there. I never saved 15%. Not in my life. I never saved that much. But my income kept going up, so the amount that I was saving was more than enough. But the point is, I'm giving away too much information here, but the point is, it's not the commandments, it's the results after the steps. And for that, I think that's pretty damn amazing. So, I mean, again, I think that at times he's really strong on people. He's really he's hardline on things that I don't think I'd be all that hardline about. Cut up your credit cards. Well, you know what? If you have a tendency to be really impulsive about spending, you should probably cut up your credit cards. You should. Or you can change your behavior, because credit cards have great value across the board. And what I mean they've got great value is that credit cards provide greater protection for you when you spend online and when you spend in stores. If you use your debit card, it can easily be, what's the word that they use about that? I'll have to look it up, but they have card readers. Some of these thieves have card readers, and they can read your card and use it. I don't mean to scare anybody by saying that. If you keep everything in your wallet, you should be fine. But especially online. Anyway, credit cards will return the money immediately. Debit cards, it really depends on your bank. Much more dangerous for you to have your debit card compromised than your credit card compromised. I'll just put it that way. I spend on a credit card every month and pay it off every month. I don't see any issue with that. That seems to be the best methodology I can find to be safe. I don't treat my credit card like a bank at all. I I do think about it before I spend. So, but that's all discipline, right? In any case, I can understand that if you are incredibly impulsive, that you can easily get in trouble with credit cards. I know I have in my life. I sure have. Absolutely. It's a real easy way to go into debt. And people provide I was giving the example of the $26,000 car earlier. Like, or 20 whatever it was. Making $28,000 a year, $26,000 car, somehow somebody got a loan. Like, I don't understand how banks give loans to people making $26,000 a year for, or $28,000 a year for a $26,000 car. That makes no sense to me at all. Why would they do that? I mean, to be fair, somebody gave my father, who was 82 years old, or 81 years old, a 6-year loan on a Jaguar. Somebody did that. Like, how do you do that? It was under my mom's name. Now that I think about it, she had no income. I don't know. I don't know why these guys do that. I think that consumer protection in situations like that, they just should not give people loans for those. I mean, it's way too easy, or it was way too easy, and that's what got us into trouble in 2008. They were allowing people who made $30,000 a year to get a $400,000 home. Like, how does that work? And then somebody guarantees the loan, and then guess who pays? Yep, you and I do. Anyway, that was my first thought this morning. Second thought I had, number 2. Second thought I had was about empathy. And I've been thinking about this next generation and the concept of empathy in that generation. And I'm finding I always have a problem with going into crowds and stuff like that. And the reason is because I think that people only sort of see ahead of them. They don't see everybody else around them. And maybe it's their own internal protection, but they don't look around them. And I'm one of those people that has an antenna coming out of my head. I kind of see everything around me, which is why I stay out of crowds on most occasions. And anyway, I think that there is a shortage in this generation, this next generation, of empathy. And I'm not talking about, the publicized empathy that's out there. So Black Lives Matter and other groups, anti-abortion, pro-abortion, pro-life, whatever it is, okay? I just think that empathy is only towards your side, and it's not towards anybody else. I also think that empathy is something that you not only have for people who you perceive as below you, but also people who are above you, or your elders, or people who have been around a while. I realize that people like Jeff Bezos doesn't need empathy. But how about feeling, hey, you know what? The guy put together the most successful retail business ever. Yeah, he's got billions of dollars, but you know what? That's how you make it in America. I know it sounds nuts, but that's how you make it in America. You got a good idea? Make it happen. And that's the greatest part of our country, is that you have that ability, that no one is restricted from that. Nobody is restricted from that. If you want to be lazy, but you're not going to have anything. And if people, when they're just starting out and they're really young and they don't have a pot to piss in, because quite honestly, I didn't. I got a really good start from my parents, but when I started my marriage, I had nothing. Okay? Nothing. In fact, I was behind. I had a master's education that I paid for myself, and so I was in the negative. And so was my wife. We were both in the negative when we got married. Sorry, I've got, like, allergies. It's just another thing to rant about in the future. Jeez, I don't know what's up with the allergies this year. It's out of control. Anyway, back to topic. We didn't have anything. And you know what we did? We played the game. We played the game. We worked. We got better at what we did. If we needed the education, we went out and got it. We worked harder. We got better jobs. We got higher level jobs because we worked hard. We made money and we put away money. So when you're 22 and you say that people like my wife and I are rich, I would challenge that. We're not rich. Neither one of us are rich. We've done our time, baby. We've done our freaking time. That's the difference between you and me. Is I've got 25 years on you. And as a result of those 25 years, I didn't spend them on the couch eating Cheetos. I didn't. I spent them working my goddamn ass off. So, yeah, if there's money there, or if there's a salary there, or if you perceive that what I make in a year is, I should be giving it all away, I should be giving my house away, and any property that I've built over time, because it's not fair, well, I'm sorry. But you need to have a little empathy towards people who have worked their butts off. And I just don't see that. I don't see it at all. I see a group of 25-year-olds that want their free money. And I don't know what happened in this generation. I really don't know. I mean, I brought up 2 kids who are in this generation, but they have empathy. God bless them. God bless my kids. They've got empathy. Not to say that they wouldn't, see wealth as a negative, because everybody of that generation does. But you know what? I'm sure I did. I'm sure I did. That didn't stop me from, taking an education from my dad. That didn't stop me from letting him pay. My goodness. Do you think that it all grows out on trees? That this stuff is easy? That $60,000 a year in a college education for a bullshit degree? There's no need for it. Learn to code. I love that expression. Learn to code. It's a really good piece of advice. Because there's no shortage of those jobs in the market. I'm telling you right now, I could go to LinkedIn, Glassdoor, any of those frickin' places, and I'm telling you right now, there are 1 million jobs for software developers. 1 million. And as a matter of fact, they are so ridiculously in need right now, they'll take you with a base level certification. And you'll have a job that pays you easily $60,000 a year as a junior, $90,000 as a mid, and all the way up to $170,000, $180,000 if you're really good, if you're an architect. Learn to code. Learn to code. If I had known that back in the day, I would have, well, I mean, again, back in the day, we didn't have these people. These people didn't exist. Today, it is the thing. If you've ever seen the S&P 500, everybody, take a quick look, a quick gander. Google it. What are the top 10 companies in the S&P 500 that make up something like 25% of the S&P 500? They're all technology companies, except maybe one or two. Like Johnson & Johnson's in there, I'm sure. But most of them are technology companies. Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter. They're all software development companies. You want to do something? Skip the stupid underwater basket weaving degree and learn to code. Back to empathy. As you can see, I don't have a lot for the kids. I don't, because I think that one of the things that gets lost is empathy for people who have worked their asses off. That's not there. Empathy for, for people based on race, people of color, it's all there. It's there in spades. People who have worked their asses off, who started out with nothing, no empathy there. I'm not asking for it. Let me be very, very clear. I'm not frickin' asking for it. I don't want your empathy. But what I do want is kids, as long as they can be labeled kids, and this would be anybody who believes that the world owes them something. You got to have empathy for the people who have worked their butts off and played the game for years, paid their goddamn taxes, paid their dues, worked their asses off, and put you through life in the beginning of your life. For the first, whatever it is, 18, 22, 26 years of your life while you sat the F around. All you had to do was go to school and get good grades. That's it. And you're like, oh, that's so hard. School is so hard. It isn't. School's a piece of cake. All you have to do is absorb in school. Absorb, learn, get the best grades you possibly can, and move on. When you're adulting, it's not just absorbing, you have to produce. And if you cannot produce, you're not going to work. Everybody's owed a job. Well, let's unpack that for a second. No one owes you a job. No one does. The reason people hire you is because the value of what you bring is higher than your salary. Everything is an ROI, return on investment. A company invests in you, you put in your work should be less than what you're bringing in. That's why I've always said, every single time, every job I've ever been in, you're either in sales or you're in sales support. One of the two. I mean, the other is customer service, of course, but that's part of sales. You want to keep your customer happy because they come back. Empathy. Think about your employer, not just about you. Your employer has a hard job to do. They have to keep a business going. Well, you have no empathy there. You're not stealing their money. They're paying you to do a job. Do it. And get really good at it. Because if you do, the rewards are there. The bounty is there for you. That's what America is. That's what it is, in a nutshell. Be valuable. Be valuable. And your value, that takes you to the next level. The more value you bring, the more you're going to get. Be valuable to others. That goes, by the way, that is a life lesson. Hey, Jordan Peterson, wherever you are, that's one of the 12 steps. Be valuable. The more value you have, by the way, value comes with responsibility. Responsibility comes with keeping up with your life. Obligations, not obligatory stuff, obligations. But that's your value. And the more value you have, the greater your life is. The more responsibility you have, the more fulfilling your life is. That's why you have kids. What's your greatest value? It's to your children. 100%. It's number one. That's the greatest value you have because you're creating little humans. And those humans have to be adults someday. And damn it, you want them to be good adults. Good adults with empathy. With empathy. Number 3. Has anybody noticed there's, I've brought this up in other videos, but has anybody noticed the movement towards better eating, Whole30, and bulletproof coffee? By the way, that's what this is. This is a bulletproof coffee. For those who don't know what bulletproof coffee is, it's basically, well, you can buy his coffee, Dave Asprey's coffee, bulletproof.com. Look it up. But it's basically coffee with butter and MCT oil. Yes, with butter and MCT oil. MCT oil is basically coconut oil. Anyway, I wanted to give you an update on my experience with bulletproof and intermittent fasting. I've been doing it for something like 3 months or something. You know, off and on. You can't keep it going. And one of the things you learn is that you plateau very easily on it. But my body has sort of learned a little bit. It's weird. Like, I'll take a day and I'll just eat normally that day. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Instead of waiting till, what I usually do is wait till 2 o'clock. I have 2 meals, 2 and 6 or 2 and 7, and then I'm done for the day. And yeah, I have dropped weight. I've dropped about 15 pounds or so on this. I haven't looked recently because I've been in that sort of plateau zone, and I want to see if, like, screwing it up and messing with it and then getting it back started will work again. Anyway, my point is, if you go through a full day and you actually eat, if you've done this for a while, like you've done this intermittent fasting, you've only eaten, you know, out of a 24-hour day, you're only eating 6 hours, or you're only eating 8 hours or 4 hours, whatever it is. And then one day, what you do is you eat normally. So you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The next day, your body doesn't need food. It's the strangest thing. It's like your body gets used to that amount of food intake. So when you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you eat some incredibly calorie-dense stuff the day before, like, your body just shuts down its hunger mechanism the next day. So I could go, if I do a regular day, I could go like 18 to 24 hours before having to eat again. That is the most fascinating thing I've ever seen, is your body really gets used to it. And then your hunger is truly based on not whether you're hungry or not, but like what the body expects. Isn't that crazy? Try this. Try it for 3 weeks. Especially if you have high blood pressure. I'm not a doctor, by the way. I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending anything. I have to say that. But just throwing out there my experience. So If you have high blood pressure, you have prediabetes. I don't have prediabetes, but I knew I was moving in that direction. Or you have diabetes, or you know you've got heart issues, or you have high cholesterol, I highly recommend trying intermittent fasting. Read up on it. Go to YouTube. There's so much material. My God, yes, there's so much material. It's been life-changing for me. I was talking about money earlier. Like, the key is that you control your money. If you control it and it doesn't control you, you're in really good shape. It's the same way with food. You need to control it, or it will control you. So if you make a decision that you're only going to eat during a certain period of the day, you're telling your body you have control, that it doesn't have control of you. Are you hungry at times? Yeah, you are. You know what? Get busy. Grab some green tea. You don't have to do a full fast, a full water fast. Grab some green tea, no sugar or anything, or get some coffee. You don't have to worry about your coffee in the morning. Have your coffee. Just don't have it with any sweetener. And you know what? You kind of get used to it. It's really weird. Like, if you stay away from sweetener in your coffee or tea, like, suddenly that becomes weird to put in sweetener. Like, somehow your palate starts to enjoy the bitterness of it. Anyway, I want to just give you an update. Yeah, I plateaued a little bit. What I need to do is really up my exercise quite a bit. I've been way too much sitting around these days. I mean, I've been doing stuff around the house. We've been cleaning up since the kids have left. We've been cleaning up, but as far as, like, getting a walk in every single day, I need to do that because my job is in front of a computer screen. Anyway, I think I've run out of gas. That was really helpful. I kind of got out what I wanted to. Hey, look, if you enjoyed this, I'm happy to do this again. I'd like to do this like something like once a week. That'd be awesome. I might not have 3 topics, but maybe just 1 topic. Yeah, you know what? Comment below, subscribe, click that bell, because I plan on doing this more frequently. I'm really looking at some of my other content because the copyright police are on my butt, making it very difficult to present something good to you guys, and not happy with the initial commentaries. Something's got to be done, and I'm thinking about it right now. But in the meantime, just going to produce like a wide variety of content. Some of this content is will appeal to some people. I don't know. Anyway, till next time. Hey, let me know your thoughts down below, and I appreciate your time. Thanks.